in two starts. Good to see how she goes over the 12 and aim for a hat-trick, Mick.
Yes, conditions really deteriorating here now. I certainly wouldn't be running out in this if I had my way. Race number 4, the Carlsberg Sprint. I'm going to go with number 2 here, Devil's Cut. He was scratched last weekend. He's a really smart sort when he's right, and he was a 4 times winner across the causeway. He's now with Frank Maynard, who is a real dab hand at producing a horse from a layoff, and his form looks pretty solid, and I think he is the one they've all got to beat. Just gone favourite, 14 and 7. Number 3 is a Phonic Star, put into second. He's won or been placed on all 5 starts so far for Thomas Gillespie. He's really racing at the top of his game, and expect another good run from this South African bred. Number 6, Polygraph, I've put her into third here. 2 from 2 here in Kuala Lumpur, both over 1100. Her running style that is to jump and run, I think might just leave her a little bit vulnerable here over 1200 metres. And number 1, Colin the Firth, he's 40 and 9 at the moment. I've put him in for 4th. He was formerly a very smart 3-year-old, and I think he's paying the price now for those early successes. He's gone 713 days without winning. He's now 3 points lower than his last win, and the blinkers are now tried here today. 2, 3, 6 and 1 for me in the Carlsberg Sprint.
Well, thank you, Nick. And meanwhile, it's really pouring at the moment. And that's number 2, Devil's Cut. Number 3, Phonic Star. Number 6, Polygraph. And number 11, Good Mummy. 2, 3, 6 and 11. Well, Nick, I think the visibility is getting pretty poor at the moment. How do you see it from there? It's their last call for the day. Nick?
Yes, thank you, Walter. Well, in fairness, I don't see very much, to be honest. It's very gloomy. But we'll do our best to try and pick these runners out in the Carlsberg Sprint. Conditions really deteriorating now. Everyone seems to have taken refuge back inside the racecourse grandstand. Not many people outside. Favourites here, joint favourites at the moment, Devil's Cut and Phonic Star. 2 very decent horses indeed. I think the signal has just been sounded for starters up, so I think the starter is up for race number 4. Well, perhaps he isn't. I thought I had that signal. Devil's Cut then is the favourite here for Noel Callow and Frank Maynard, drawn in barrier number 2. And thankfully for Devil's Cut supporters, he's got quite bright colours. We should be able to pick him out. He's a decent horse. He hasn't run for 295 days, and he's been a decent horse down in Singapore. Real classy type, and I think he could take all the beating here this afternoon. He has won on soft ground, so any rain that might get into the ground isn't going to inconvenience him at all. Phonic Star is 20 and 10 at the moment. And next best, Polygraph, I think could be vulnerable over this trip. 25 and 9 chance. And down at the bottom here, Good Mummy is 27 and 9, as conditions are really deteriorating now for our 4th race, the Carlsberg Sprint. Runners are loading up. Looks as if Good Mummy's just gone in. Good Mummy down towards the inside. Really struggling to see anything now. This is unbelievable. We're going to pick them up, I reckon, about the 400, but at this rate we won't be seeing very much. Conditions are as bad as I think I've ever known them. My screens are useless. They're just grey, and it's going to be a very hard job indeed to see anything in this. And well, the lightning and the thunder, and it's all happening. Looks like they've got a couple more to load. I can't tell you who they are. I think we're only going to be able to pick them up here inside the final quarter of a mile. There are a couple more left to go. So a couple more left to load then for the Carlsberg Sprint. Race 4 on the card here in Kuala Lumpur. Favourite is Devil's Cut, 15 and 5. Just gone 13 and 5 now. It's a good job the starting stalls have a light on, otherwise I wouldn't know where they are. So should be able to make them out jumping off, but that's about it. Set and they're off. Off and racing in the Carlsberg Sprint. I have absolutely no idea who's in front as the lightning strikes here in the Selangor Turf Club as they race along the back straight in the Carlsberg Sprint. Race number 4 here this afternoon, and we're only going to be able to pick them up in the home straight here because we can't see a thing. Favourite jumping off was Devil's Cut. He was 13 and 5. Second favourite, then plenty of support late on for Good Mummy, who is down towards the foot of the weights. So they're probably just about heading into the turn now into the home straight. We're going to pick them up, I reckon, about the 400 metres marker. And as yet, they're not quite there. The lightning striking quite dramatically here in what are unbelievable circumstances to be running a horse race. Runners turning into the home straight now. So they've got about 400 metres left to run and still yet to really work out who's in front as they head down the home straight. It might be Devil's Cut towards the inside as they race down towards the final 200 metres. It's Devil's Cut in front here for Noel Callow. Back in behind him, then whacking away is Colin the Firth in second from Good Mummy. But as they race inside the final 100, Devil's Cut out of the gloom will go on and win the Carlsberg Sprint. In second place was Colin the Firth, Good Run. Then came Good Mummy, and behind that was Super Good. Then came Q9 Max. Super Guru came next, full tossed. Then came Zaphonic Star. They were clear of Ghost Emperor. Irish Coffee next over the line. Polygraph has pulled up very sharply, and Landing North was the last one to finish. So Devil's Cut has won the race, 2 from 1. Devil's Cut first. Colin the Firth was second. I think provisionally it was 11 and 10, but we'll just hold fire on that. Devil's Cut winning. Polygraph has come back very quickly indeed. Back to the winner's enclosure. The Scythe nearly slipping over on the wet ground. But Devil's Cut has won the race. A dramatic Carlsberg Sprint. I've never quite seen anything like it. And Devil's Cut, out of the gloom, has won for Frank Maynard and Noel Callow. He's come back off of 295 days to go on and win this Metro C race. He's a 6-year-old Bay Australian gelding by Exceed and Excel, excellent stallion. His dam is Adorara. 9 starts now for 5 wins, and he's obviously revelled in the conditions. We only knew what was going on inside the final 400. Colin the Firth has run a good race in second. Umbrella's going all over the shot here, down on the concourse outside the Hess Bar. There's 4 of them gone already. There's only 1 left standing. He's holding his ground, that one. 2-1, 11 and 10. 2-1, 11 and 10 as I first fought. Devil's Cut from Colin the Firth. He's returned about 15 and 7. Good Mummy's run a good race in third, the mare, and Super Good for Alejandro Lopez as ran 4th. But the winner, Devil's Cut, we didn't see much of the race, but Noel Callow was fairly pumped after winning the Carlsberg Sprint. He rides Speed Baby in the big one later on this afternoon. That is Noel's 17th winner of the year. And for his trainer, Frank Maynard, 48-year-old Frank Maynard, that is 47 winners all up for Frank Maynard. Devil's Cut winning our 4th race. We just wait for distances and the time of that race. Zaphonic Star was a little bit of a disappointment. He wasn't in the first 4. Not sure what would have gone on out in the gloom. Couldn't see them for 800 metres or so. We probably picked them up about the 300, to be honest with you. And even then I had a job to make out it was Devil's Cut, but thankfully for the race caller, he had yellow and purple colours, and we managed to pick him out. The winner of race number 4, the Carlsberg Sprint, Devil's Cut. He's returned 15 and 7, really nice performance. Favourite on jumping off was the 3rd place horse. That was Good Mummy, who was 14 and 6. So Devil's Cut here has made a nice comeback to win this Carlsberg Sprint. Q9 Max will be the last one to be trotted up by the vet. I think they want to trot him up as quick as they can, get him back to the stables. This is quite unbelievable weather.
Nick, I think it's some lifetime experience for you, mate.
Well, I mean, back home, back home I call a lot of point-to-point races, you know, and we do get bad weather, but nothing like this. This is quite incredible. But actually, to run the race, you know.
Yeah, I know.
It's I mean, one thing I will say, the horses seem to cope with it very well indeed.
Yeah.
And you know, there's down below me, Walter. There's umbrellas gone all over the place. There's flags, and the cricket pitch is flooded. I don't think there'll be any. There won't be any overs played on that anytime soon. But anyway, yeah, quite an experience.
Anyway, I should commend you, but nevertheless, you had to wait only when they appeared at the top of the straight. But even then, the last 200 meters, I had these experiences very much before, Nick, so I know what it is all about.
It's great experience, you know, and all my time here has been a great experience. But that was quite something else, and I won't forget it. Just getting some information through now.
Yeah.
Hello. Race 5, 3:55. Okay. Just getting some information through that race 5 will now be due off at 3:55. 3:55 is the revised time for race 5. As they race inside the final 100, Devil's Cut out of the gloom will go on and win the Carlsberg Sprint in second place.
Why does it always